feel like I should have like a da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Why is that?
I don't know. We're off to the races.
We're off to the races. Good morning. It's good to see you again.
Good morning, family, friends. We are so excited to be with you on this beautiful, sunshiny Friday morning.
TGIF, baby. I mean, like, for real. It's good to be through the week part of the week and cruising into the weekend part of
However,
the week.
it all has kind of blended together as of late for most folks, hasn't it?
Well, I think so, because if you're anything like us, I don't know. We work through the weekend, though. So,
We do. Our Sabbath is like Monday.
yeah, generally.
Pretty good. Good
Yep.
morning, Chris. Good morning, Donna. Hey, family, friends. So good
Toodaloo.
to see ya.
Yeah, so it's cool because we're starting to get some news. Julie and I have been doing this series for, I don't know, a few weeks now. It's pretty much within the first few days after the COVID-19 lockdown started and all that good stuff.
Good morning, Ed.
And just offering some encouragement to folks, primarily for their marriage, but just in life in general. Because Lord knows we all need encouragement all the time. But to be able to get some encouragement on a daily basis when we're getting, or at least right now, I think we went to what, Monday, Wednesday, Friday
Monday,
now.
Wednesday, Friday, yep. Indeed.
On a consistent basis during a time like this, I think it's just a good thing. It keeps us focused on the right things. It just gives us a nudge in the right direction. And so look, if you're just tuning in and this is your first time, by all means, go to our Facebook page, Married for a Purpose, give us a like. All that will do is just help keep us in front of you, keep encouragement, not us, but just some words of encouragement for your marriage and for your life in front of you on a daily basis. We've got lots of encouraging posts that go up there to help keep you focused in the right direction.
Indeed.
And if you've not been to our, excuse me,
Married for a Purpose site, you can
Thank
do
you.
that. Just go to marriedforapurpose.com. We didn't get cute or clever, no number 4s or anything like that. It's just marriedforapurpose.com.
you said fur.
Fur.
I like
No
that.
fur.
Married for a purpose. That's the way I would have said it, but I didn't anticipate.
Oh
that
my
you were gonna
gosh,
say
after
it.
2 decades, I think you rubbed off on
I'm
me.
rubbing off on you.
Hey, we need to jump in.
You think we need to jump in
I
and
think
talk
we
about what
need
we're going
to
to talk about?
I do.
You know, it's really important for all of us to think about culture at large, and the greatest place that we have a real awesome opportunity to create a culture is within our own family.
Yep.
Within the 4 walls of our own home. And that's probably the place where our culture that we want to cultivate will have the greatest impact in creating legacy. And of course, it benefits us when we create a culture that we want, right, love?
Absolutely.
So-
I'm thinking about our culture and I'm looking at all these amazing people. I got to just real quick give a shout out. Good morning, Grant. Good morning, Chris. And I saw Belle Precious, and I just want to call you Precious Belle. And then, right?
That's cool,
Love
Julie.
this. Donna, Tina, so many great friends joining. I'm also seeing Susan, Anita, Tina, Santiago. We've got people all the way from the East Coast and the West Coast joining us this morning. Hey, if you know some other folks that need some encouragement in their marriage, we want to encourage you right now. Start your watch party. Have them join along with you. Mark on your own page the things that you're drawing from this morning's Facebook Live. It is truly through 3 ways that whether you want to maximize your marriage, whether you want to heal your marriage, restore, save, or just enjoy life together, these 3 principles we're going to share are foundational to build the culture, as Greg was talking about, in your family.
Yeah, and they're pretty basic, actually, but I think that they're things that, particularly in times when things can be tense, that we need reminded of. And so, yeah, be sure and share it forward. Helps raise exposure and blesses somebody else that may need some encouragement and some reminders of some of those basic. Lord knows I need reminders of the basics from time to
We
time.
need reminded. A lot of times we'll pick up our own books and I need to put that one back into practice.
Yeah.
Greg definitely needs to put it back into practice.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. I got straight from the horse's mouth here. She's good at giving me reminders.
No, hey. Are you calling me a horse? All right, hey, we're getting sidetracked. I have a whole mouthful of a person, though, here. Fyodor Dostoevsky.
Say it again.
Fyodor Dostoevsky.
That's a person.
That is a person.
What? Let me ask you something. What native
see if you-
descent do you suppose this person's from?
It has to be like Ukrainian or something. Dostoevsky.
Dostoevsky.
If anybody knows who
Dostoevsky.
Fyodor Dostoevsky is.
It's not Dostoevsky though. It's Dostoevsky.
Dostoevsky.
That could be.
Maybe I spelled
See,
it wrong.
look, I'm a redneck, so I'm just going to tell you right now.
on, let me-
I'm not good at deciphering this kind of thing, but I'd
Okay.
love to know what descent this person's
If
from.
anybody knows who Fyodor Dostoevsky is, here's what he wrote. This is more important than being able to pronounce his name. Here's what he said. He said, to love someone means to see him as God intended him. I love that. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Him said loosely, by the way. Him or her.
Fyodor?
No, I'm just saying. He says to love someone means to see him,
Oh.
means to see them, that person,
Oh,
as God intended him.
intended him. I think that's so beautiful. Ralph Waldo Emerson said it this way. He said, every man deserves to be remembered by his best moment. Again, as Greg would say, his or her best moment. And most importantly, God said in his word that the power of life and death are right here in the tongue. So the way that we encapsulate all three of those thoughts is the secret to building culture in your family. Maximizing your marriage, healing your marriage, sustaining, restoring your marriage. And here's the three principles. You ready? You want to say them?
No, you can say him.
All right.
You're on a roll.
It's to see the best, believe the best, and anybody who's been around us any length of time knows the third step. See the best, believe the best, and speak
the
best. That's our thought, right? So here's the
Sounds
challenge.
pretty simple, doesn't it?
It does, and yet so many times, what is it that causes us to not do those very simple things?
I'm thinking, for those of you that are watching right now, just to think within the last 24 hours about an opportunity where maybe you could have seen the best, believed the best, and spoke the best,
Yeah.
and maybe you missed the opportunity. Not so that you can be condemned or, feel bad about yourself
Yep.
or, oh, I suck. That's not going to get you any closer to where you need to be, right? But if you literally think about, okay, going forward into this day, what are some things that I can do within the four walls? By the way, we're not just talking about marriage. We're talking about your home. We're talking about your kids. We're talking about extended
So
family,
good.
We're talking about people in general, actually.
Yep.
But the greatest opportunity, again, is right within the four walls of your home. What are you doing to see the best, believe the best, speak the best? Not necessarily in that order for the people in your home. Are you giving the people within your home the benefit of the doubt?
Ooh, that's so good.
Are you
love.
truly seeing them and defining them? I think sometimes when things get a little bit sideways and they get tense in the home love, like when you've been confined together 24/7, some of you guys are not as used to that as
Yeah.
what we are.
Yeah.
But when your routine's been broke, when there's all kind of different curveballs that have been thrown at you, that throw you out of your normal routine, are you defining that other person kind of in general by their best moments, or kind of hanging maybe some of their not so great moments over their head,
Yeah.
or just in your spirit kind of harboring some of those not so great moments and viewing them in that way? I've been guilty of doing it.
I remember. It makes me think of a time. So I'm going to tell on myself. I'm going to tell.
Oh boy.
Oh,
I like this part. Just kidding.
when we were first married, I had so many insecurities. We really were at a place where we didn't know if our marriage was going to make it. Now, fast forward 2 decades, God's completely healed, restored our relationship, and I'm grateful for that. But it wasn't always that way. And way back when we first met, I had so many insecurities that I most definitely did not see the best, believe the best, or speak the best over you. And there was a time where Greg was actually on the telephone talking to another woman. And in my mind, I immediately thought he was cheating on me. I immediately thought that you were
suspicious.
Yeah, I was very suspicious, was not seeing the best, believing this, and I was feeding all these fears about you in my mind. And I remember I started accusing you. I became distant, and you just kept saying, Julie, you got to trust me. And you started giving me, I was just talking to a friend. I wasn't cheating on you, but I did not believe you. And so finally, after being exasperated on your part and frustrated and realized that you had no other choice but to tell me your secret, you came forward. And what I realized is he had been working very diligently to save all kinds of money back and plan and organize a surprise getaway trip to Mexico. And because of my lack of belief in you, I totally ruined that surprise. And it breaks my heart today. By the way, I'm sorry for that.
Whatever. We had such a ball on that trip, you know. We really did. It was Julie's first time to Mexico, and I don't think it spoiled it, but I think, you know, when I think about that story and I listen to you tell it right now, love, more what I think about is the turmoil that it caused within you. And I think all too often, a lot of times when we hold suspicion or bitterness or just things like that, you know, suspicion, bitterness, or even wrongdoings, excuse me, when we hold them in our heart, it actually does us more harm than it does the person that we're holding them against.
Right.
I'm sure that although I was certainly bothered by your response during that time period, or your suspicion and such, it hurt that you didn't trust me. You know. I would be willing to bet that you probably had more turmoil inside of you. I did,
and then afterwards to realize I ruined the surprise and everything you'd been trying, I was like, you bonehead, why'd you do that? And sometimes I think in life, back to everybody's story, right? We kind of do one of these things like that really, you know, I'm smacking myself pretty hard there.
It's all good.
You bonehead, why are you not seeing the best, believing the best, and speaking the best? And so I guess the question then is, I know in my life now, I trust you implicitly, but I can get busy, right? I can get busy. I can get preoccupied. I can start thinking I'm entitled to something more, or seeing how I'm getting the short end of the stick. And so all of those things are maybe the antithesis to seeing the best, believing the best, and speaking the best. So how do we stop that pattern?
I was going to say, why don't we take them one at a time real quick?
All
what
right.
do you say?
All
So, see the best. That's the first one you like to say, right? See the best. How do we see the best in one another? So, I think, so I'll lead out on this and then you can reply.
Okay.
I think it takes a certain degree of intentionality, actually, particularly when you've been together for a while. See, when we first got together, not unlike many other marriages or couples, it was really easy for us to be able to see the best in one another.
Yep.
We were looking for the best. In fact, you'd have been hard-pressed to get us to see anything that wasn't the best. Fair?
Fair enough. Yep.
We were putting our best foot forward. I think sometimes after we've been together for a while, we tend to get comfortable. And again, as we get comfortable, those of you who've been with us for a while, you know, as we get comfortable, sometimes we get complacent in that process. And all of a sudden, we start seeing the worst. We start picking out the things that, you know, are not the things that we appreciate about our spouse or even about our kids, you know. And we start kind of picking at them and picking them apart and finding the bad things. And so I think for me, what I have to do is I have to just be really intentional. We've got a devotional book called Two Are Better Than One. Actually, we encourage you to pick that up. Not because we're trying to sell you anything, but it's just got a weekly practice for each week that helps you intentionally begin to see the best. So we intentionally wake up, or I'll intentionally wake up and just like catch you doing something right. I want to see the best. I ponder often. I ponder things about Julia. I'm like, wow, she's awesome. She's the greatest business partner, the greatest life partner I could ask for. And then I think of particular reasons why. It causes me to see the best. It's practicing see the best. And then I speak those over you. So that's two of them kind of tied together.
Sure.
I like to say them out loud. And I'm bragging on myself. I should have done that flip-flopped. I should have said what
it's
you do
okay.
really well.
You know
Why
what?
don't you say what you do really well?
No, I'm not going to say what I do really well, but I will say what helps me. It's when I wake up with the mentality, and before I put my feet to the floor, it's like, God, show me how I can demonstrate your unconditional love to my husband and to my kids. And so I think that the way that it helps me to see the best, believe the best, and speak the best is when I intentionally look for opportunities to serve and to celebrate. And so I keep those words in front of me: serve, celebrate, serve, celebrate.
That's
because
awesome. Yeah.
it's a play in my mind that then gives me the discipline of being able to walk it out.
See the best, believe the best, and speak the best. So I'm thinking, one of the things that we sometimes do, particularly if we find ourselves getting out of the habit of this, is we'll
Yeah.
actually put a note on our mirror, or we'll make a little sticky note someplace. I put them on my computer sometimes, and it reminds me, hey, see the best, believe the best, speak the best.
Yep.
Catch your kids, catch your wife, catch your family doing something right.
Sure.
Just that little reminder, especially in the morning time, helps me to change my mindset overall for the whole entire day.
Yep.
It sort of sets the tone. It's a reminder of something that I might not otherwise think about.
Yep.
But when I see that, then it reminds me, oh yeah, the goal, like the game today, is to speak life over my wife and kids and the people around me.
Yeah, there's a verse in Romans 12. It says, outdo one another in love. And so what's kind of fun is when you make it a daily discipline, if you can take that scripture and think, okay, how can I outdo my spouse in demonstrating love? Outdo one another in love. We actually, there's also a verse out of Habakkuk that says, write it down on tablets. Write the vision down on tablets and post it in a place that you can see often so that the herald can run with it, right? And so what
Who's
we did,
Harold anyhow?
Yeah, Herald, the archangel, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, so that the herald, the messenger, can run with it. So we did something to help us keep it in sight, and that is we created a picture with some family collage, and we put see the best, believe the best, and speak the best, and it's hanging up on our refrigerator. And I know that there are different times in my day when all of a sudden it'll catch the corner of my eye, and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to keep that practice in front of me. And what's so awesome about it is when we really do that discipline, it becomes life-giving, as you said, Greg, not just for the other person, but for ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about your own thought pattern, and if you sit there and you start feeling sorry for yourself, you start thinking about all the ways you're getting the short end of the stick, it goes back to another thought, and that is what you feed grows, what you starve dies. And so if in my mind I'm mulling over all of this yuck, then I'm going to get more yuck. But when I begin to intentionally celebrate and look for, I'm going to find more things that I love about, just like when we were dating, just like when we were pursuing one another and discovering one another. So what would it look like for you in your day over this weekend to see the best, believe the best, and speak the best about your spouse? To celebrate them, to serve them. What's one thing right now that comes to mind that you want to do today, tomorrow, and Sunday until we meet again on Monday that's going to help you to see the best, believe the best, speak best? Make a conscious note of it right now. And then whenever your thoughts are getting distracted, come back to that thought and choose to do that thought.
Yeah, I want to speak to the guys for just a second. Sometimes us guys, and I don't mean to be stereotypical. Look, if you're a chick and this applies, rock on with this, okay? But for the guys in particular, sometimes we have a reputation of not sharing our feelings and not praising people, you know what I mean, and things of that nature. So I want to encourage you, men. It takes a real man, like legitimately, it takes a real man to be conscious about this sort of thing. And think sometimes, maybe you're like me, we think things and sometimes the good things don't come out of our mouth, you know what I mean? Yet if we've got a critique or something like that, it's easy for us to offer, opportunities for somebody to improve, or, I'm a maximizer. I like things and people of excellence. I
love
really
that
do.
about
Like,
you.
genuinely, I
Yep.
do. But any strength overutilized becomes a weakness. And so sometimes, if I'm not careful, I can actually beat people down. And so, particularly within the four walls of my home. And so I just want to encourage everybody, but especially the guys, make sure that if you have a positive, if you look at your wife and you think, dang, she's hot. You need to say, dang, girl, you are hot. You got it going on. I'm just telling you, like, I just looked at you and I thought that, I like to say I love you. I like to say that she's beautiful. I like to say things like that in a different way other than just I love you and you're beautiful. Like, I try to get creative with it at different times. And so I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but speak life. Speak life. Speak life. Never miss an opportunity to speak life over someone. Why would we ever want to withhold that?
I love for our kids too, the intentionality of being able to speak that. Your kids right now need to hear that you believe in them, that you see their very best. I think as parents, it's really easy to, because we want what's best for them.
Well, we're trying to pull
We're
them up.
instructing
We're trying to,
them and
right.
trying to encourage them to draw up. But sometimes it's just good to stop and celebrate. Man, you're going to figure this out. You've got this. I know life's tough right now and you've got school and you're working full time and we want you to put out the trash, right? We come to the point though of it's all going to be good. You're a great kid. Man, when we speak that life over them, when we tell them that it's all going to be okay, that their dreams are going to come true, that they are excelling, that they are going to figure it out, it helps them to rise to that as well.
Absolutely true. Yeah, so, the key is these are simple. See the best, believe the best, speak the best. See, choose to see, choose to believe. In other words, ponder things in your spirit, in your mind. Think about your spouse. Think about your kids. And the positive attributes, the things that you want more of, because what you feed grows, what you starve dies. Feed the things that you want more of. Celebrate everything that you can possibly celebrate about them. As you do that, you'll find that those things begin to grow inside of them, and you'll feel better. Because again, what you're thinking about, you bring about. So if we're pondering all the things that are the improvements that need to be made in other people's lives and in our home, then again, it weighs on our own spirit because we see all the problems all the time. We become very problem focused. And we don't want to be problem focused or problem aware. We want to be life focused and purpose aware, right?
All right, I
Even
got one more best
You
practice.
got one more?
Yep, and this comes from Greg Gorman himself. I remember when...
Buckle in.
This wasn't, like today, seeing the best, believing the best, and speaking the best really is a habit that we've created as a culture for our home. Our kids have adopted this culture. They speak life over us. We speak life over them. But again, it wasn't always that way.
No, but we shared it with them and talked about it and still
But
do a
one
lot.
thing that you did that was amazing, you would put it in your calendar, like tell Julie I love her, speak praise over Julie. And so right now, all of you have your phones more than likely, or your computer in front of you. You're watching on some type of a device. We want to encourage you right now to pick 3 random days out of this month. 3 random days where you've literally put, tell my spouse in a unique way that I love them. Or schedule or write them a note. Just put 3 different ways that you can express love, where you can express that you are seeing the best, believing the best, and speaking the best over your spouse, and put it in your calendar right now in a place so that on that day it pops up, it'll remind you of what you're learning and feeling inspired by today.
We'll expand on that a little bit more on a different broadcast. I think we're about 20 minutes or so in right now. So
Should we let him go?
yeah, we probably ought to wrap it up.
Oh, I see so many people. I just want to wave at them. So thanks for joining us today. If you've been blessed, share it forward. What any final thoughts, Gregory Gorman?
Nope.
No? We're going to let him go?
Love you guys. Appreciate you so much. Have an awesome week. Share it forward if you were blessed by it. Today's broadcast, and we'll see you again on Monday morning, all right? Have a great
All right,
weekend.
happy weekend.